again, the type of substantiation depends on the nature of the product or service being marketed. As a general rule, it's governed by a reasonableness standard. The FTC wants to see reasonable evidence, reasonably adequate evidence. And experts in the field have to consider the evidence substantiating or proving the claims to be adequate. Again, disclosures tie into substantiation. Disclosures can be used here, but disclosures can only qualify or limit claims. They cannot contradict claims. Where you see substantiation issues come up most prevalently are in the health sectors, dietary supplements, nutraceuticals, what level of science is necessary. That's where most of the action is. Lately, there's been a lot of regulatory activity in the context of work-at-home businesses, business opportunities in conjunction with earnings claims, and the FTC has pursued marketers for not having substantiation for the types of earning claims that they've made. And again, in context here, it's net impression on the reasonable consumer. So the specific type of claim matters in relation to the level of substantiation. Dietary supplements, health products, are where most of the action is, again. And what the FTC wants to see here is competent and reliable scientific evidence. Marketers that make product performance claims or product efficacy claims, this is where they find themselves in trouble because they don't have the science in their possession, or they're not using the science properly, or they're using the science in a misleading way. There's no fixed formula for what constitutes competent, reliable scientific evidence. Over the past few years, the regulatory landscape has essentially been one where the FTC has roundly insisted upon two randomized clinical trials, two RCTs. And those in the marketers and those in the business community have felt that the FTC has overstepped its bounds in this regard because guidance doesn't necessarily call for RCTs, much less two RCTs. So the way that this has played out recently through judicial opinions and through internal FTC policy, it's moved in the direction of a more flexible standard. The FTC, while they clearly want to see RCTs, the reality is that two RCTs may not be required. One may not be required. It depends upon the types of claims made. It depends on the circumstances. And it depends on the overall body of evidence. So courts have come down on this issue as requiring an assessment of the relevant scientific information as a whole. Now, having said that, an RCT is the gold standard. Two RCTs even better. But with the new administration and some recent successful challenges to the FTC's efforts to require two RCTs, there has been some loosening up of this particular requirement. Another interesting issue in terms of claim substantiation, especially in the health-related vertical, dietary supplements, nutraceuticals. A common mistake that marketers make is they may have science or competent, reliable scientific evidence, whether it's clinical studies, expert reports, what have you, that stand for the proposition that, say, one or two ingredients in a particular product have been shown to do X and Y. And so marketers in their materials either make express representations or implied representations that the product as a whole does X and Y, when the only science that they may possess says that specific ingredients do that. The FTC is all over this issue. They actively enforce this issue, and they will continue to do so, especially where if there's only science, let's say, on a particular ingredient or two, and you combine those ingredients with a couple other ingredients, they may have a synergistic or additive effect, and that could cause safety issues and efficacy issues.